Duke of York in the centre, not in uniform, Princess Royal, and the King coming out. The Duke of Sussex behind, the Duke of Gloucester behind him. And Vice Admiral Sir Tim Lawrence on the far right. The male members of the royal family and the Princess Royal. The other female members of the royal family will travel by car down to St. George's Chapel, not march in this procession. Prince of Wales towering above Princess Royal. Duke of Sussex passing through. Peter Phillips there. And the Earl of Snowdon as well in this procession. They're going through the archway of the Norman Tower, and that will take them round to the left and down the steep hill into what's called the lower ward of the castle, which is where St. George's Chapel is. The lower ward, the lower fortification. Historically, there's a lower ward, a middle ward, and an upper ward when this place was first fortified. The procession is on its way down towards the west door of St. George's Chapel. And there there'll be this very simple service of committal, all agreed with Her Majesty the Queen, much discussed. The service taken by the Dean of Windsor. And it contains psalms, the Russian Kantakin of the departed, hymns, a reading, a bidding, prayers, more hymns, and then the committal itself, with this coffin being lowered in front of the altar until it disappears from sight. And the Queen's piper will play a lament, and the Garter King of Arms will read out the styles and titles of the Queen. And the regalia presented at the coronation will be removed and put on the high altar. And the Queen's company camp colour will be placed on the coffin by the King, and the Lord Chamberlain will break his wand in half and put it too on the coffin. Everyone standing in silence as the coffin is lowered. The Dean of Windsor will say the committal from Psalm 103, and then the well-known words, "Go forth upon thy journey from this world, O Christian soul." And a final blessing, as everyone stands, will be given by the Archbishop of Canterbury. A very simple, straightforward, moving ceremony that brings the Queen's body to lie beside the bodies of her mother and her father and her husband and her sister in the George VI chapel, newly built on the side of the St. George's Chapel. The hearse enters the horseshoe cloister and stops in front of the steps that lead up to the west door of St. George's Chapel. And the bearer party will come out from the right these young men who have carried this coffin from Westminster Hall, carried it down the aisle of Westminster Abbey, and now for the last time will carry it up the steps into St. George's Chapel, where it will, at the end of the service, be laid to rest.